The Mexican Revolution was a massive popular uprising that kicked off on November 20th, 1910. It started when Francisco Madero challenged the long-reigning president, Porfirio Diaz, accusing him of election fraud and calling for a national revolt. Diaz had Madero jailed, but he escaped to the U.S., declared himself president, and returned to Mexico, backed by a growing army of peasant revolutionaries. One of the key figures was Emiliano Zapata. In March 1911, his forces captured a key city, cutting off the route to Mexico City. The pressure was on. Just a week later, Diaz resigned and fled to Europe. Zapata, with 5,000 fighters, marched into the state capital. Madero then made his triumphant return to Mexico City, where he was met by Zapata's request was simple. Return the stolen lands to the peasants. Madero, however, wanted the revolutionaries to disarm first and offered Zapata money instead. Zapata refused. This disagreement led Zapata to create his own revolutionary plan, the Plan of Ayala. It became the Bible for his movement,
demanding the return of lands confiscated under Diaz's rule.
While Madero's revolution had stalled, Zapata's was just getting started. He began distributing land directly to the people. His army, the Liberation Army of the South, grew to over 25,000 men, funded by taxes on rural towns and wealthy landowners. The situation got even more complicated. In 1913, the head of the army, Victoriano Huerta Stegado e Capa, murdered Madero and installed himself as the new dictator. Zapata and another revolutionary leader from the north, Pancho Villa, refused to join him. This split the country into warring factions. The moderates, led by Venustiano Carranza, formed their own army to fight the dictator. Eventually, with pressure from the U.S., Huerta was ousted in 1914. But the fighting wasn't over. The revolutionaries couldn't agree on who should lead. Carranza called the convention, but Villa and Zapata, who now controlled the majority of the fighters, essentially took it over. They even marched into Mexico City together in December 1914, vowing to fight for a civilian president. However, their alliance was short-lived, and a new civil war erupted between Carranza's moderates and the radicals, led by Villa and Carranza's forces, using modern warfare tactics, managed to defeat Villa and push back Zapata. By 1917, Carranza had drafted a new constitution and was elected president. But Zapata continued his fight for land reform in the South. Tragically, in 1919, Zapata was lured into a trap and assassinated by one of Carranza's colonels. The revolution had claimed one of its most passionate and iconic leaders. The conflict dragged on,
with presidents and leaders rising and falling.
It was not until the presidency of Lázaro Cárdenas in the 1930s that major land reforms were finally enacted, fulfilling some of the revolution's core promises. The Mexican Revolution was a long, complex, and bloody struggle. But it fundamentally reshaped the nation's political and social landscape for the entire 20th century. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more.